So, Mom, you want to tell us how you and Daddy met?
Well, I had been working in Knoxville for TVA. I left college at the end of, well, when there was just 9 more weeks of my junior year. But I got a job, and during the Depression, there just weren't jobs around. So I went down to Knoxville and worked there at the secretarial pool, and first thing I knew, I was older than most of the girls a little bit, and I was working in the head of the department's office, and they gave tests, stenographic tests for shorthand and typing. And first thing I knew, I was working in there grading papers all the time, and that didn't sound like fun to me. So,
Now, what was that at a school? Grading papers.
well, they had a big stenographic pool, and
Yeah.
if any of the officers needed help, they would
Yeah, but what?
call over and get somebody. And
But grading papers?
well, they tested everybody who came in,
Oh, that
and
doesn't. No,
graded
you're right.
them.
That doesn't sound like fun.
That didn't sound like fun, so I messed around in there for a year, but asked for a transfer. Was transferred to Chattanooga in the Maps and Surveys
Oh.
department, where they took the notes that the surveyors in the field sent in,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a big room full of young engineers who transferred the field notes into notes for the drafting room, which was on the floor above ours, where they had just lots of young engineers drawing maps. So, anyway, when I first got there was a bunch of girls who worked for the head of that department, and they lived together in a house that had been owned by the Cook family in Chattanooga,
Oh.
and it was just an old-fashioned house, but the family mostly was dead, but the ones who were left couldn't decide what to do with all the books and the grand piano and all that was in this house.
Wow.
So they just rented it, and there was room for me to move in when somebody whose place I was taking moved out.
And so it was called the Cookie House because of the family.
It belonged to the family,
Oh.
the Cook family.
I just thought it was because a bunch of cute girls lived there.
Oh, no. No, it wasn't that at all.
I bet it was.
But, it had 2 huge rooms downstairs and a huge dining room with an intercom system where you could call people from
Oh,
the
my
dining
gosh.
table, call the cook or the maid to bring food in and stuff. And
Did you have a maid?
we had a cook.
Oh.
Her name was Elmer. She was big and fat.
Elmer?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And had cooked for riverboats of surveyors, and decided she wanted to live in town and be off of the boat, so she had been hired before I got there.
Must be nice having a cook.
Yeah, and she was always thinking we should hire a maid because she didn't like having to do all the cleaning, but we never did hire a maid.
Okay, so how'd you and Dad meet?
Well, and he was with a bunch of these engineers who lived together, and they were good friends with all the Cookie House girls.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard about him before I met him. He was on vacation, had gone to Washington, And about a week after I got there, he was there, and we were all going up on Lookout Mountain. There was a big hotel up there that had an outdoor patio where they had dances every Friday or Saturday night or something. And a bunch of us were going up there.
Did you have a date?
I had a date, but I don't remember just who it was. And Bob had a date with somebody else, somebody who didn't live at the cookie house. But I met him that night, and then he and I just had a good time together, and my date and his date had a good time, so we just switched.
You just switched. Well, I thought you ditched your date.
No.
You just
They just switched. So he took me home that night.
Yeah, you would have not liked that if any of us would have come home with a different guy than our date, you know.
Yeah, well, I was on my own.
Yeah.
We didn't have a chaperone at our house.
And so that was the end of that, huh?
Yeah, and then,
The rest is history. No?
yeah, pretty
Is there
much.
something else you wanted to
No.
say?
That's all about that.
Well, it sounds like a fateful night.
Yeah,
Okay. See ya.
bye-bye.